Hello. Hello.
Hello,
Good
good
morning.
morning.
I believe everyone is doing well, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. So before we start um, today's session, I would like to find out if there's any challenge concerning what we did as we went through. Do you encounter any challenges anyway? Something, any doubts that we need to clear?
no.
no.
Okay. So we will start now. I'll share my screen. So the session still, I'm going to record it. So if you are late, you can just always refer to the recorded version. So we cannot wait for anyone. The time is 8:12. Okay, so please, can you see my screen? My screen is this. Okay. Okay, so we will still be using the interactive mode. Okay, so all we needed to do is to get your power share on. So let me close all this stuff. Okay. Okay. Mm, so before we start today's session, can someone give me a brief summary of what we did yesterday? Just a brief summary of what we did yesterday. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm asking, can any of you, just give us a brief summary of what we did yesterday?
Um. Okay. So yesterday we started with the slicing.
Okay, we did slicing. Since we did
Yeah. And
slicing, yeah.
we did the.
And where do we slicing is about?
Please come again.
I'm asking that what do we say slicing is all about?
Slicing is about like uh removing like some elements from a value, like a certain like
Like,
I don't know
okay,
how
copying part of maybe
yes,
uh,
elements, a part of
so maybe if I have a list or maybe a string, let's look at a string, and I want to copy part of it. I can use the slice to
yes,
copy
yes.
part. That's good. And what do we use? What tool do we use for slicing? What tool?
Please come. What? Please come again.
What tools do we use for slicing?
What
If
two?
maybe I want tools like
Uh
TOOLS, do we use
And before slicing, you can use the for loop.
No, I think we said that they with we use the square open and
The
close
square
square brackets
bracket. Yes.
in the column, right? So
Yes.
when you place open and close square brackets, then you are doing a slicing. So in front of maybe a string or it could be a variable, and tells that you are doing a slice. Okay, so that is fine. So it tells me that you've gotten what we did yesterday. So today we will continue, but something came in. I feel like maybe to walk you through this quickly before we can. Yes, yesterday I did mention of the 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 tools in terms of string. Okay, I said that string has a little bit of properties. Okay, that accompany with strings. So example that we use samples like I told you about the plus sign, the multiplication sign here, the lower uppercase, the just the start weights, and all this stuff. Let's quickly brush through this, okay, with example. So I know I've covered it in details. So once you have that in mind, if anytime you want to use this, you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to use example for us to be able to go through this. Okay, so to start with, I will start with maybe a simple variable, let's say variable a, and then I will assign it to some numbers. Okay, so I will do this. So I have maybe 2, 3, 4, let's say 5, and then I have my b, which I will also go by. Okay, let me use something different. Since it's a string, anything within a quote is what we are talking about. So 6, 5, 9, 3. Let's something like this. Okay, or 4. It's okay. So this is what I have. Okay. So now if I want to concatenate, you use the plus sign. Simply means that you want to join them. Okay, so I have a plus sign that I can do that. So I will say that I will say A, B, A plus B, and that is going to give me this. So you could see that I've joined all these in together. Now you realize that there's no um, comma between the 4 and 6. Okay, if you can see, there's no comma between 4 and 6. And I believe you will know the reason why it's like that. Can anyone tell me why there's no comma between 4 and 6? Then you've seen that this one is 46. Why?
Uh, yeah. Or it's basically joining A and B together, and there is no after the four ends, there isn't any comma there.
Sure,
So
sure. That is good. I think after the 4 year, okay, so definitely it's going to give us this number. It's not going to leave that space for us. If like we have a comma there, in that case, you see that here there will be comma before the six. For instance, if I come back to the A and then I place comma here. In that case, there's comma there of this one. So if I just need to repeat, this one is the same. So I will just come to and say A plus B. Okay. So in this point, you can see that now it has separated both because I've now given the comma after the four at the end. Okay. So that is what we use concatenation using the plus sign. We want to with another two was the multiplication sign there that you see. So if maybe I want to multiply a times maybe times 3, so just that I want to duplicate that value, so I have a, and we know that a is this one, so a times 3 is going to give us this. So we can see here, I have this one, then multiply by another one, they say not individual. So just on the row, then we can see starting from to another set and another set. Okay, so it's the same thing. If I have maybe a string like this, and then I want to multiply with asterisk like this, I can multiply this one maybe by 10. By 10, okay, in that case, it's going to just multiply that for me. Okay, so you can see here, I'll get it 10 times just for line. So that is for the asterisk, just to duplicate what you have there in the number of times that you want to. And then the plus is just to join or combine, or another word, concatenate. Okay. Now we also need to look at some of the term, like if I have something, let's say a name. Okay, this is a variable and I'm giving a name to it. Let's say full name. Full underscore name. And this case, all I'm going to do is that we are still under string. Okay, so I'll put a name here, like okay, let's do it small letters, like okay. So there's another tool that we can use, which is called the we can use for formatting or whatever. But for now, I want us to just look at this one first. So for full name, and what I want to do is that I want to uh, make all this one upper. So upper function. So when I do upper like this, it means that I'm converting everything to capital. So you can see here all being capital. Okay. Now you see that this one that I'm having here is small letters. So even if I do lowercase, I will still get the same thing. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to store the upper somewhere, and then smaller letters. So instead of me just leaving this one, I will just create this thing. Let's say upper upper underscore name, and then I will just leave this one here. So when I call upper underscore, then I should get this one. So now I want to change this one to lowercase back. So what do I need to do? So what I can do here is that I will say that upper underscore name dot. So we use the dot operator. We call this one dot operator to call the properties of a string. That is the methods of a string that can help us the behavior or some of the outputs that we are getting to something that we prefer. So now here I want it to be a lowercase. So I will say lower. So once I run this code, now you can see that everything will come back to a lowercase. Also, in the same way, we can change it to title case. So I can also do this instead of lower. I can say so. Title means that it will change the first one, the first letter to that. Okay, so title, and then you will see that I have Kingsley, and then every first one start with what capital. So that is what the title case. So mostly names, you could see names will come like this. So maybe we are programming. No matter how the person will type the information, you will think the output should be like something like this before maybe you save in your database. So consistency of your data. So that is the title. And then we have the capitalize. So once you change this one, let's say to capitalize. So if I change this one to capitalize, then it's going to change only the first letter here. Okay, sometimes work with sentence and stuff. Okay, so beginning a sentence. So that's it. The rest should be small until you have a full stop. So you have to know at what point do I need to use this. Okay, so these ones are only properties for a string. So all that we are like anything within the quote, you can use this one for, not not a dictionary, not a list. It's for only string. So string property. Okay, yesterday we did that. I just do a simple example so you get used to that. And then there's another one that we did, which now we've gone through the operation, the lowercase, and sentence and all those things work the same way as these ones and worked. So justify, right, justify and stuff. And then we have start with. So start with, maybe this one gives the Boolean value. Start with and see that I have this name here and I want to see a start with. So I will come here and say start with. So start with what? Start with K. So let's see if it's truly start with K. So K is a string. Let me put it start with and place K here and run this. So if it's there, it's supposed to give me. Now you see it's false. because what I'm having here is not starting with what? K. I hope you understand. Because the K here is small letter. It's starting here, it's starting with what? Capital K. So definitely I'm not going to get the result I want to see. So if it's true, okay, so now you see that it will show true because it's starting with K as in capital, and then I will use another word, end with. So we can have end with. So end so ends ends with. So end with what? If I say end with K, if it doesn't exist, it's going to give us false. So you can see that it doesn't end with any like K. But what does it end with? Maybe it ends with like what we just did here, ends with maybe H. So I can place ends with H, which I know, then it should give me true. Okay, so you can use it when maybe you are doing your search and all those things. So now here, upper case here, you can see that all these ones are there that we can actually use. Now you can see here, because it's one word here, it starts with the first one and then ends it. So let's say ends with B. And then you see here. So all these ones are there. Let's go to our name here, which we have here, and put the full name here, ends with Ba. So I have the full name, which is here. So instead of upper and lower, so now I'm just coming here and then and put in my full name. So full underscore name. Then I have dot and ends with ends with the name that I have there, which is full name, ends with BAAH. Okay, so once I run this, you see that it's true because it's ending with what? Ba. Okay, so that is one thing that you have to take note of that. So it makes it easy for us to be able to check some of these things. Okay, so ends with and all these ones are there that you could try your hands on. Then another point that we need to look at, we have index, refined, and like I said, the find, we want to check the index of a number. So for instance, I want to check index of a name. Okay, so index of the name, the find and the index, they work the same way. Okay, but the difference between the find and the index are that when the value does not exist, index will throw an error. Okay, so that value does not exist, find will give -1. Okay, but find deal with the lowest index, and then R find deal with the highest index. So that is the difference. Okay, so for instance, if we see that here I'm only going to search by index A. So let's look at index. Do I see that I have inside here? So let's use A for our index. So now I will say find A. So A is a string. Okay, so find A. So I want to find A. So it's going to give me the index. That's what it's going to give me, index of A. So now you see that I have 9. So it means that my first A is at in the index. Okay. So if I place A in front of 9 in front of this, it's going to give me A. That is the first one. That's what it means. Okay. Now this helps me maybe if I really want to even do what they call what we want to slice or everything, it will even help you to be able to do that, because I saw this value somewhere, because that's going to give you the index of what we are looking for, and the end index you can place that one there. So let's see if I'm going to use the R. Okay, the R, which is the R index of that. So you will see that I have the same thing, and instead of this I will place R. So this R here is going to be here. I have 17. Now what did we just take the last one? That is the last. So the R find get the highest index. Okay, out of this, that will be the last index. That's what it will pick for you for that particular character or the value you are searching. Okay, and this one give you the first. So whatever it you see first, pick that one and stop. But this one will search and give. So that is the difference between the find and the R find. If I want to use index will give me the same value as find give. So let's come here and then place here index. So I have index. So now this one is going to give me this 9. So the difference is that the find and the index is that when the value does not exist, index will throw a value error, and then find will throw -1 error. So that is the difference. So for instance, let's come here, and then instead of A, I'll place in P, because I know P does not exist in my name. So now let's here it will throw an error here for us. Sorry, not this error, because I made a mistake. This one is while scanning string literal, meaning that I am supposed to play this one in quotes. So you realize that that's syntax error. So syntax error is because maybe I didn't follow the right syntax. Every string should be in quotes. So you can have the end here. So you see where the error is pointing. So mostly you always, when you just check and see where the where the is pointing, that tells you where you need to focus on. So syntax error tells me that I didn't write my code well. I didn't follow the right syntax, so I need to check and fix that. So this is not the value error that I'm looking for. So here I need to fix this one by adding 1 to that. Okay, so now this getting value error. So this is the error that I'm. So substring not found. So what I'm looking for does not exist, and this is how the index will throw an error to you when does not find what you are looking for. Okay, if I'm supposed to use find in the same way, now you will see that find will give me -1 instead of throwing this error to me. So okay, so it will throw -1. So it tells you that -1 tells you that the value that you are looking for or you are searching does not exist. So couldn't get that index for you, so it gave you a negative index. Okay, which tells you that it does not exist, it's out of range. Now, in the same way, can also happen to R if it has negative index. So for instance, if this one, the P does not exist, so definitely going to throw a negative index. So that is the indexes. So we use the indexes, you can use it for slicing and all those things. So for instance, if I know the index for A, my first A here, I could find the index of the first A and then find the index of B, and I will be able to slice it. So let's say the index here is going to give me something, okay, a value. So once I place it there, I can slice it. So let's see. I'm using the find alone. Okay, I have my name that I just gave was the full name, which is Kingsley G. Okay, so if I come here, let's print the full name here. Okay, and then I have Kingsley H. So I can see first index. Maybe this is how you can apply it. So my F index. Let me put it like F index. Okay, and then I will assign this F index to the name, that is full name, full underscore name dot find. So what am I finding here? I want to find K. Okay, so I want to just slice only Kingsley. So K. So I'll put K there. You can do it direct, just one line, but I just want you to understand. So here I'll come here and then I have that. Then I want to get last index. R index. And then I'm still using the find because so I'll have my full name, okay, dot find, and I'll place in Y because I want the Kingsley, so I'll place in Y. Okay, so in that case, that will give me this. So now I could do my slicing and say full underscore name, okay, and then take my first index, so F underscore index, okay, column last L underscore index. Okay, so this once I run this code like this, now you can see here I have this, but the last did not come. Okay, you can see here I have here, but the Y did not come. So if I want to get the Y, what do I need to do? Can anyone help me?
Can you add +1 to the L index?
Yeah, you can add +1 to it. Good. I think you guys are good. So just need to add +1 to this. Or I can do it by adding +1 to the other side. So now you can see that the Kingsley is there. So you've gotten it. So this is how you to get all those things. So sometimes you don't need to check this thing yourself or all those things. You can just write a code just to do all those stuff for you. So just to understand it, and then you know how you apply it. Okay, so now here we have is alpha, and then here this is where this one also give us a boolean value. A boolean simply means that I'm going to check what you have there. If it's alpha, then if it's alpha, is that we are talking about string. Okay, if it's digits, is alphanumeric and stuff. That is what all this one is all about. So for instance, if it's alpha, for I have this one here, and let's give a name, let's say check me. So I have a variable for check me. So check me, and then I'll give a string name I have here. Maybe my check me will be King. Okay, so this is King as check me. So if I say check me, so check me dot is alpha. So this is going to give me true because it's just alphabet only. So definitely it's going to give me true. Okay. Now you also could do that is digit. Then when you want to check if it's digit, then it's going to give you another digit value. So for instance, if this one is digit, then it means that I only have like numbers, then it's going to do that. Okay, so for instance, I will have another one and say numbers. Okay, so I will assign numbers here and give a string. So we are dealing with string. So I have 1, 2. Now, what that, let me do this one first. Okay, so I have this one here, and then come here and say numbers dot is they sorry is they. So definitely it's going to give us true. Now I wanted to put in the, so now you see that all these places will take it. Now if I change this one to here, just giving comma and then comma and then comma and then comma. Okay, so let's come back here and then check this. Then I will see dots is ticket. Now you can see that it's false. Why? Who can tell me?
Because of the comments, it doesn't make it a digit. It makes it like stand on
Yeah,
its
it's
own,
a
like different elements.
numeric. So
Yes.
for instance, if I come here and then change this one to is alpha numeric. Okay. So in this case, Now you can see here is also showing this. Okay, meaning that all that we have to do is that when it comes to numbers, okay, the comments and all those stuff, just to make sure that we are in part of the principle that we need to go to. So digits deal with only digits. Okay, so if you have alphabet, numeric, and alphanumeric characters respectively. So this one is for alpha numeric characters. Okay, so if you have alphabet and all those things and stuff, check alphanumeric, then it's going to give you that. So for instance, I have here, let's see, I have another one. Let me see. I'm giving another number. I say half, half, and then I will assign this one to a string, and then put in 1, 2, 3 king. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 king, and then I'll come here and say num r dot is alphanumeric. Okay, so now it's true. So because I'm dealing with the alpha and then numeric, so this comma here is a special character. So definitely when I did here with the alphabet here, alphanumeric here, it still gave me false because the comma is not alphabet, it's maybe a special character. So it's going to give me false. That's what I want you to do. So once you understand this one, these are true or false. So sometimes you can check within your string, maybe sometimes we use them for search engines and also different things that we really want the applications, how you look at the applications, how you go about it. Okay, so it's cool. So I believe the understanding is there. So that's how you do go through. And then it's another point where we have joins. Now you can see this join where the same as the we have what do you call we have the concatenation, but join normally deal with list. Okay, so maybe if I have a list and then I want to change the list to a string, then I can use the join. Okay, I can use the join to be able to do that. So let's quickly rush through this, and then we can quickly move on to what we want to do today. So I will come here and then provide maybe list of students, list of students. So for our list, I have here I have here Kwame. And I have Nana. Then I have come early. Okay. We start 8, so make sure you come early. If not, you'll be missing a lot. Join the session before it's time. Be on time. Okay, next time. Okay, so now I have what we have here. Christian. Let me put Christian also in. Okay, so these are list of students that I have. Okay, so it's a list. So now run this one. So now I want to use the join. Okay, so maybe you can see your name here is small letters and stuff. I want to work on it. So how do I do that? But you can see some of the properties that a string can give us. You won't get them in a list. Okay, so as a developer, you have to know at what point do we need to use all these tools. I want to change this one to a list. So maybe I will see my string str student. So let's do str student, and then I will assign it to. I will just give it to a list. Now, by here, meaning that I'm saying that it should pick with the separator, the comma separator. Okay, so that is what I'm doing here. I will leave it like this. Let me leave it like this first, then we come back. Okay, so I'll use the dots here, okay, to separate it. Okay, so the dots, then we call the join function. So inside my join function, I will place the list. Now the join function pick list, so the list will be, take the list of argument will be the list underscore students. Okay, so here I will run this code. Now when I call str underscore students, you will see here I have all your names. So it's the same as we having the concatenation. But I realize that the string that I pick here, I didn't leave a gap. So that's why you realize that everything has been joined together. So now you understand. So the next time we need to leave a gap. Now I'll go back, and this time I'll leave a gap. Okay, so I'll leave a gap for the, I'm done with this, and I run this code again. You can see here str underscore student. So here you will see I have Kwame, Nana, Christian, but I want something like there should be a quote. Okay, so I want Kwame, Christian, and all. So to do that, I need to place a comma between that, so that I'll be able to get a comma also attached to that. So I will come back here, and then this time I will place in comma. So I will use the comma here and go back. So when I call a student, so you could see that we have this. So now you can see I have Kwame, Nana, Christian. So I can work on this name by now saying that str underscore students dot, maybe I want to change your first name to capital, so dot what, title, because I know should be something like that. Okay, so we'll do the magic. So once I run now, you can see that I have Kwame Nana Christian. Okay, cool. So this is something that you can do. Okay, and we can get it back to a normal one that we want to get to. So that leads us to another function that we can use. Okay, so we have, sorry, okay, so we have what we call split. So now, split, if I want to go back to my original list, okay, I can use the keyword split back to original list that we have. So I want to get back to what we gotten. So here I can see dots. If I do this, maybe it will be too much for you, but the split, I can also assign it to another variable. You do that. Okay, so now you can see here I have Kwame Nana Christian. So you realize that I've gotten back to my list. Okay, and if I want to get back that list, all that I want to do is like a list of students. I can just assign this one to the original. So instead of me just printing this one, I will just come here and assign it to just going to update the old list that I'm having, which I don't want the format. So I will say list underscore students. So once I assign this one to that, and then I'll come back here, I will be able to get this. So anytime I call list of students, you will see here I've gotten back my what name, but this time I've worked on this. So you can see Kwame Nana Christian. So these are some of the things that you can do. So you can just, I can change it back to a string by using that. You can convert it back and then you work on. So that is how you sometimes manipulate some of these things. Okay, so with this in the split for, and then we have the split list. Now the split list here goes to deal with sentence. So last time when we went through, I told you that it is for this one is a sentence. You can see that I have split line. So let's see here. I'll copy this sentence here. So where full stop ends is another sentence. So I will copy up to character here. Okay. Now I'm going to place this one and use the name what sentence. So I create a variable by name of sentence. So when you do that, it will change it to a list for you. Okay, sentence. And then I will place this one because it's a double line. I can't place in the single line code. It should be what kind of code do I need to use? Who can help me?
Please, a question again.
I'm saying that what I copy, since it's double, it's a double lines. What kind of codes can I use?
The triple. Or
Triple, good. The triple code, good. So now here I need to use the triple code, like you said. Okay, so I'll paste this one. Anyway, should paste it. Okay, so now okay, so I will end it with 1, 2, 3. But it should be the same because I use triple single, so it should be the same. So now I will enter. So now if I call sentence, if I call sentence here, you see I have my triple line, the double line. So now if you see here where the end, the ends, you can see here the new line is start with but it tells you there's a new line. That's where the sentence ends. And then this one too, when you see where the backslash end here, it tells you there's a new line. That's what it means. So now we want to use this to work on. So let's use sentence dot split lines. So sentence of split. Sorry. Now, do you see something here? You could see that I have here, this is a sentence, so split line, you see that it's in open and close square bracket, so it ends here. So the first one is split, and then when you see the end here is comma, that ends the first end. Okay, so that is end the first end there. Then you have the next one coming all the way. So that tells you that now I'll be able to split this one into different kind of thing, and I can go back by using the join function to be able to change it back to original you saw. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can use. So mostly we use this one to work on some of these functions and stuff. You need to know them and then just practice them. Okay, it's not anything difficult. Okay, so we've done that now, and then we can look at partition work the same way, but what the partition does is it just divides it into three instead of maybe splitting it more. Partition will divide it into three. So that is the difference between the partitions and then split and all. It just divide it into three. Okay, so you can try your hands on that. Okay, but I just call the word partition function like the way you see here, and it will do that for you. Okay, within your line. So now we have here what we call strip. Like I said, that the strip here remove a white space. Okay, for white space, the strip will remove a white space. So, for instance, I'm here. Please, can you see my screen or it's too small for you? Is the font okay?
Yes, it's okay.
It's okay. Okay.
Yes, please.
So now look at this. So I want to ask to focus on script. So I'm giving another one by saying um, my joy. So my joy is a variable. I'm giving my underscore joy. Okay. And I will provide a string, but then I will leave a gap. So this is what we call the white space here. And see a gap here, and then use the words I like Python programming. So okay, so I'll love, so now you can see the gap. So that gap that you see there, we call it white space. Okay, so to be able to remove that gap that you see here, the space that I've created. So strip can remove both the back, the front and the back space. Okay, that is the left and the right. That's, it will do both. So if I say my underscore joy, okay, so my underscore joy dot strip. Okay, so this will actually remove that. So you see that it came with a Python programming. So you can't see the gap. You can't see the gap. Okay, it tells you that the gap has been taken off. Okay, so that is the strip. Okay, so for instance, if I come here and this time I'm removing this, so I only have the joy. Now when I write, you can see the gap there. So you can see there's a gap there. I don't want to see this gap like that. To remove this gap, I will use the strip. So the strip will remove that for me. So once I run this code, you could see that the gap is gone. So sometimes we use that when people are filling your form and say they can leave a space and be typing and the format will not look good. So you as a developer, by adding this one to your variable where you are picking the data from and then you assign it. So whatever they will type, how they will type it, you will now channel everything to how you want it. For instance, if they start with the small letters, it doesn't matter. You can always pick it in such a way how you want the output should be like. So that is the strip. And if I want to remove only the left, we use, maybe I've left the gap only the left side, and you will use the L strip. So you can see here we have the L strip. Just remove the left gap. If you want to remove the right gap, you use the R strip. The strip take care of both the left and the right. Okay, so but what I've done is the same thing, so I don't need to go and work on the L and the R strip. Okay, now the next point is replace. Now replace function also work in handy. So sometimes you want to replace some value with a different value. Okay, so let's look at example. So example here, we have what we call I like Python programming. So instead of me saying I like Python programming, maybe I want to say I like C programming. So I want to replace Python with C. In two cases, we can use the replace. So I'll call the variable name and say my underscore, okay, dot replace. So what are we replacing? So we want to replace the value, what we call, so I have a value that I want to replace with. So that value should come first, which is C, maybe plus plus, so C plus plus here. And then we have what we call here Python. So now when I call for this, when I call for this, do you see the changes? No, there isn't any change, right? So if I do my underscore joy, see there's no change. Okay, so there's no change in this, meaning that we still have. So now here is my challenge. Okay, so what I have here first is pi. So I have my is Python, and then I want it to work with C plus plus. So now you can see that we have here, I like Python programming. So it's in handy. If I want to remove the, I see the space is still there. So I want to remove that. So what do I need to do? I have to go back. I don't want the gap. So I can go back and this dot what? Let's say strip. It is R or L. Is it my left or right? Left, right.
Yeah.
So sorry. Strip. So now you can see that I've removed that. So you can see I like C++ programming. So that is a replace and stuff. So it's not handy. You could add it in any way how you want to program. Okay. So that leaves us to the replace format. And then we come back to format. This is the format. So we use this one formatting star and it work with a string. So we call the string formatting star. Okay, so let me actually give you a gist. So for here, I'm going to just give some name here. Let's say maybe I'll give a name and then I'll put the name here. Call let's say Nana. Okay, let me do this. Nana. Okay. And then we do program. And uh, we assign it to Python. Okay. So now when we go down here, sorry, I need to put it in the quotes. When we come here, you have this one down there like this. So we can write a simple sentence and say print. So now I want to print. So I say my. So everything should be in quotes because we say string format. The string format means that the string dot format. Okay. So this format here will also pick an argument. Okay, based on what speed that we are going to the format. So now here I can place my information here. So within my information, I want to place a gap here and see the first one is my name, or I say let's say my. So name, we use the what we call placeholder. So this is a placeholder. So placeholder is, so okay, let me this one. I think my name is, then the placeholder will come. So that's where your name comes, Nana, comma, then you say I like, then your program will come. Something Python programming. So this is what you want to see. Okay, Python programming. So now when you have this one here, what are you needed to do is to place the arrangement how you want the whole thing to be like. So here we place our variable. Our first variable is called what? Name. So we want the name should be the first. So that would be name. Okay. One will be program. Okay. So when we have this and we run this program, you could see that my name is sorry, Nana. I like Python programming. But you can see where Nana came. I want Nana should be like a name. So what I need to do to correct this? Who can help me?
You can use title.
You can use what?
A title to correct it. Maybe like the name where you stored the nana, like the variable you used to store the nana. Use the title attribute.
Okay, okay. So let's see title attributes. So let's say dot title. Okay, and then Python dot by see here that we have our name here. It didn't work for us. So why that it didn't work for us? So if I come here, because that is what, why that it didn't work for us. When I did the dot placeholder there, it didn't work. Why? Who can help us?
Because
Hello.
um, because there's no there's no variable before the title.
It's a placeholder. Okay. It's just a placeholder. So this is just a placeholder. Okay. So when you do that, it's not. Now we have our variable here. Let's see. So instead of placeholder, I'll come here and change this, remove it, come back here, also remove that from there. Placeholder here tells you that you want your variable should be in this place, and how it has been arranged here, that's how it's supposed to be. So the first one will come, then the second variable will also join the next placeholder. So now let's go here where we have our variable here. So name dot title. And then I will come here and say program dot title. Okay. So when you write, you will see that my name is what? Nana. Okay, sorry. I still use the name, right? How did I spell Nana? I think I didn't spell it well. So okay, I still use the name, so that's why it came like that. Okay. So instead of Nana, I say Nami. Okay, so that is why you see the name. So pardon me for that. So now you see this one came, and then we had some error here. Then it says what the name I like built-in method title string objects programming. Okay, so you could see here because this is a function that's been already defined, so we cannot do this within this space, even though we are providing a variable to this. So where we wanted to do the changes, supposed to be assigning the value, okay, so that we don't need to come here and do what we just did here. Okay, so that is the main reason why we are getting this. So within this space, you cannot just come and then apply all these method functions here. It will not work. So that's why it's giving us that the string object and this, that is built-in method title string object programming. So it's not that's the place where we're supposed to do that. Okay, so you take note of that. So where we can actually fix this is when we were calling for our variable. Okay, so for instance, where we are assigning it, so here we just assign this one to this, so we can just use the term here. So instead of this, I could do dot title. Okay, and you save this. Okay, and that will work. Okay, and when you move on to the program, you do the same thing. So anytime you call this, it's going to come with the capital, and that solve the problem. Okay, so you could see that. So when you call this one, it will work like what we were looking for. Okay, I hope it's clear. Hello.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. So concludes. So that is the format. Okay. Now let's look at what we need to do today. Okay. And then you spend a lot of time on this. Okay. So now we look at list. Okay. Now a list is also yesterday. This is where we got to write, and then we actually went through list comprehension. I hope if you quite remember, we did that, and I did explain to you what it does and why you need to use a list comprehension. Okay, so now the list comprehension also have the same properties like what a list, what a string was having. Okay, some of them are plus. So we use the plus like to do the concatenation. It means that you can join two lists together. Okay. We have the multiplication sign also to do a duplicate. That is multiply a list. Okay. we use the append. For append, yesterday we did use one append for you to know. So you append an item to a list, but this one is added at the end of the list. Okay, so that is append. Append will add it to the end of the list. And the extend means that I have two lists. I want to join the two lists, meaning that I want to add one list to another. So if you want to do that, we use the extend. The extend means that you will add one list to another list. Okay. And then we have this function, what we call pop. So pop means that you want to remove an item from a list. So we can use the pop. So when you use the pop, it's going to remove an item from a list. Okay. So I specify index. Okay. If you did not specify the index, it take it random. It will remove randomly from it. But if you specify a specific index that you want to move, maybe index 1, then it's going to do that. Okay. And then we have what we call index. So what are the index do? So we already know what index does. So if I also do this, going to check the index of an item in a list for me. So when you go through that and you check the index, if it did not find the index, as you know, it will raise what value error. Like when we did it before, the string we saw it raised the value error. So in the same thing here, it will raise that error for you just to find the index. And then we have the count. You also can count the individual elements within a list. Okay, so maybe you want to count the number of 2, the number of 3, something. So when you do that, just go to count that for us. And we can also insert item into a list because we already know what a list is. I think we see that a list is what attributable from our previous class. We say that a list can be mutable. Okay, it means that you can change its element. So it means we can insert an item in a list. So with insert, you need to specify the index where you want to insert your item. Okay, so that's that. And then we have the reverse. Reverse means that you can also reverse any value or stuff. Okay, so we keep notes of that, and then we can do sort. Okay, and then sorted. Okay, so kindly let's go through this quickly. So I will open a new. Okay, type my Python. So I'm going to have maybe a variable by assigning a value to it. So this is the list symbol, and then I'm going to give maybe numbers like 2, 6, 5, 1. Okay. And then I have another one called B. So with the B, I will also give like 3, 9, 10, 4, 7. Okay, so these are the numbers that I've given. Okay, so from our first operation, we say that we can join the two together. So I could say C, and then with the C, if I say A plus B, simply means that addition, CS concatenation. So when I call C, you could see that I have all the elements just from A and B joined together. If I call A, you could see that it will only give me what is I have there. If I call B, that will give me only B. Okay. Then we see that we can also multiply each element. So for instance, I can say A times 3 or 2. In that case, it's going to multiply the elements. You can see 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3. So you can see that it has multiplied the elements there. It is same as what we did in the string. When you multiply it, to multiply its elements. So this work the same as the way it worked in the string. It is same work in the list. It is the same thing. So just keep seeing how it works in the string, the same is how it works in both a list. And then when it comes to the multiplications and the duplicates, it's also the same. Okay. Now we also check the other parts of this. Okay. Now when we look at what we've done here, I have these two things, but we say that you can this one join. I can also add. Okay. So to be able to join, for instance, extend B to A. So to do that, I can use the word A dot extend B. So what I mean is that now I have added the B to A. So if I call this, now you will see that I have everything. Instead of me and adding it, I've done it to A. So now A is not the same as it used to be. It has been extended. Okay, so that is what we have here using the extend method there. And then we have what we can also add. Okay, so if I want to add, we already know what index, what insert, and then what append, add it to the end. So if I say a dot append A dot append 10 or A dot append 10. So it means that I'm going to add 10. Okay, so if I call A, but you can see that the 10 will be added at the end of it. So that is append doesn't mean that it will go at the back. Okay, so that is append. So anytime you are using append, you think that it's adding it to the end of the list. That's what it means. Now we have the insert. So what are the insert do? Now I can specify a place where I want my insert to be effected. So for instance, I can say that, hey, I want it to be at this position, and it will be done. We can also use pop. Now, what are the pop do? See that pop remove an item from a list. So let's see. I have a dot pop. So I want to remove a dot pop. So if I do this, now you can see that it has popped what? It has popped 10. So it removed the one at the end. So let's check it back and see what it has done. So now you can see that it just removed the one at the end here. I can also specify the one I want to remove. So let's see, I want to take 8. So I can say a dot pop. Now this pop, instead of me leaving it like that, I will place an index there. So what index do I want to? I will know that this is the 0, there's 2 here. So at this point, when I run, you see that it has what taken what 8 from there. So if I check my list again, I could see there's no 8 in there. So I can replace back whatever that I've done. So to do that, I can do insert. So at this point, I will insert to the location where I did the pop. So I'll come a dot insert. So sorry, a dot insert. Now what am I inserting? So I'm going to insert with the index. So the index what? Index 2. I want it to go to where it was, and the value that I want to replace is what 8 back. So once I run and I check A, you can see that I have my number back to the original position where I deleted it from. And then I can also add back the 10 by doing what append. So I could get back what has been done. So I can say append what. So in this case, it just take me back and then have my everything intact. Okay, so with this in mind, I believe we've able to go through a add, append, extend. Now with the index, we can check the index of a number. For instance, maybe I don't know the index for the last one, the 10, but you see that by realize that index will check the first one. So definitely it's not going to give me the last one. Let's check. So if I have here a dot index 10. So I want to check the value index for the 10. Okay. So now it gave me 7. So 7 is where 0, 4, 5, 6, 7. So definitely it's this one, not the last one. Okay, so that is the index. So now I'm putting the index for number 10. But that's what the index will do. It won't give you the last one. Okay, so you take note. And then we can also get the count. So maybe I want to count the number of element, or maybe the number of tens I have, or the number of ones, the number of, if you want to do, we use the count to do that. So but at this point you use the word count, and then you place the number there. So let's see, run the code, and you can see that I have 2. So it means that I have 10 as an item twice in the list. So that gave me here. Okay, so it's very simple. So these are some of the things that we can go remove. So we can remove an item, but one thing you have to know that if you are removing, you have to know the item that you are removing. So if, for instance, if I don't know exactly the name of the item, I'm not going to use remove. I only use what pop, and then pop with the index. Okay, maybe I want to remove the first 3 or something, you use the pop. Okay, but if, for instance, I know and I want to remove, I want to take 10. So that, and it's going to remove that for me. So if I come here and I see a dot remove, okay, and I place in 10. So it's going to remove that. So if I check E, now you can see that it has taken the first one from there. If I do again, it's going to take another one because there's still 10 in there. So it's going to remove another 10. So that is the remove functionality. If the item you want to remove does not exist, it's going to raise an error. For instance, I don't have 11. So if I want to remove 11, it's going to give me value error. So you can see here, value error means that it tells that the now exists. So to give us the value error. Okay, so that is what this one you do. And there's another one that is very interesting to know. We have what we call sort. Now, sort means that we want, okay, let me finish with this reverse. Now, reverse function, as you can see here, we have this one, 2, 3, 4. So reverse is just the opposite. So it will turn this 1, 2, starting with 2, is going to start with what? 10. So if I use the word a dot reverse, a dot reverse function. So here, when I check E, you could see that it's at reverse it to what this. So you can see that it's starting with what? 10, 7, 4. So that is reverse. Okay, so when you do reverse, it's going to reverse it again. So if I run again, a dot reverse, it will reverse it back again. Okay, but now I want it to come and start with a 2, and I'll reverse it again. Then if I check E, you see that it comes back to the original. Okay, so that is reverse. You want to reverse it. And we have sort between sort. When I'm using sorts, now you can see the way the arrangement is like. I want it to be in order, maybe from the least to the highest, or from the highest to the least. And that's where we have the word sort. So you will see here, we have here maybe a dot sort. Now, this one is going to sort it by realize the way sort it for me. Okay, by already ready, like you've seen that it has been arranged here. So let's see. When I run this code and I check A, so you could see that it has been sorted. So now the sorting starts from what? 0, as you can see here. I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you can see that sorted, it wasn't sorted well. So that is sort. But I could also do it in such a way that I want the first, I want to do it opposite, like maybe to start from the highest to the least. So this one is the least to the highest. I could also start from the highest to the least. And to do that, what we can do is to add reverse. So I can see that instead of, I will say reverse. So place an argument here and say reverse assigned to true. So reverse assigned to true is going to reverse everything that you see there. So if I run this code and I check here, it's now going to sort it now starting from the highest to the least. So you can see 10, 9, 8, 7, 8. But what does it do? It has now affected the original list. So if I check the original list, it has been affected. So I won't get my original list again. So that is the effect of sort. So if you want to keep your original list intact, you don't want to tamper with your original list, then you have to choose what we call not tamper with your original list. Okay, so it will keep your original list intact. So for instance, I want to use the B. I want to use the B. So when you check the B, we have B 3973. So let's use sorted for B. So I will say, so to use sorted, always you have to create a variable. So I'll use, let's say, sorted, let's see, sorted underscore num. Okay, let me use sorted underscore num. So now here I will say sorted, and then inside that I will place my variable which I want to sort. So which is the B. So once I run this code and then I check my sorted underscore num, you could see here that I have my sorted list, which is 3, 4, 7, 9, this. But if I check the original B, it's still intact, does not be affected. You can see the original B is also there, 3, 9, 10, 4, 7. So does not be affected. And then the arrangement, how it appears, you can see that it came as what from the list by default. When you sort it, that's how it should be. So if I want to change it back and see to start from the highest to the least, in that case, what do I need to do from the previous one? What do I need to do that? Any help? So I want to change it from the highest to the least.
The sort with the reverse.
With the reverse. So make the reverse true. Okay. So we do the sorted with the reverse. And then, so here, instead of this, I'll add another argument to this. And then say reverse assigned to true. Okay, so in this case, it's going to take care of that. So when I use the word sorted underscore now, you could see here we've gotten back our sorted list, but this time we started from the highest. But our original B has not been. Okay, so this give us, this is what exactly you need to know about your string function. Okay, you need to know about your string, what it went through. If you can master this, I think you don't have any challenge when it comes to programming with a list, because we use a list a lot based on some of the things that you can see. You can manipulate a list, and then you can do a whole lot of that with string, and use string a lot of properties in string. You can convert your list back to your string and use some of the properties that you get in the string. Once you are done, you can convert it back to a list, and then you work and you see some of the properties that you have in the list. You can extend the list. If you have two lists, you can extend them. You can add, you can join the different variable by giving that. You can check the indices, you can count, you can insert, you can remove. And the sort is very, very important because we have a lot of stuff that you want to sort them, you want to arrange them and stuff. So even if you have a string and you want to sort a string, all that you needed to do is that, hey, convert the string back to a list, and then you can sort it. Once you are done, you convert it back to your string, and that is done. So once you know this, anyhow a question might be presented to you, or are the tools that you can use at any moment. You know the tools that you could use. Our time is up. Tomorrow we are going to talk about another collection type, which is also very crucial, and you use them a lot when it comes to data analysis and stuff. That's dictionary. So string, you'll be using a string to a lot in data analysis and stuff. So, and then list as well. So these two things, these three, what that we are doing, take note of them and then try your hands and do the practice. The reason I didn't want to leave you this way, I want us to do the practicing, and I don't also want to bother with a lot of notes, because when you have a lot and you don't read, it doesn't make sense. So I have to just give you this format and very straightforward. Just need to continue and watch the video, what we've covered today, and then you can practice some of these things that you see. Okay. Tomorrow we go through the other one. If there's any question that is something that I talk about that it didn't go well with you, that you want me to talk or maybe explain it further, kindly let me know before we close the session. Hello. Hello. Yeah, Christian. Do you have any question?
No, please.
Okay, okay. So it means everything is clear now. So there's no question. Then that's fine. Okay, Nana, do you have any question?
Oh no.
Okay, okay. So please kindly go over what are we are doing. I will try my best and upload the video for you. And then take your time and watch, go over there. Or we'll be working on dictionary. Probably we can do two, dictionary and sets. These are very crucial. Once we cover all this one, because Python programming is mostly about this. If you master what we are doing now, I don't think you have a challenge anymore when it comes to Python programming. So you need to know your list, you need to know your dictionary, you need to know your sets, and at what point do I need to use dictionary, at what point do I need to use list. I'm here to apply this knowledge. So